the time I'm returning to my home, the cherry blossoms will be gone. What a waste, what a waste to miss such a beautiful thing.
I'm Geoff Berner and I come from Vancouver, Canada. I'm a musician. I travel around as a singer-songwriter with my accordion, and I also write books, and I travel a lot. I do a lot of touring in Europe, and I've played at a lot of places, squats or former squats, punk rock places, and I always have a great experience playing in places like that. The people always take a lot of pride in the place, and but also they're almost always under threat. Like the city is always trying to shut them down or something. The only ones that seem to last forever are the ones where at some point, when the property values are low, somehow the squatters manage to buy the property so they can't be driven out, even though the city might not want them to be there. But I've been in Germany and Switzerland and Denmark playing at these squats, and it's just a place. What I like about these places most of all, I guess, is just that they're different. That it shows an example of a different way to live. That we don't all have to live in steel and glass apartments in the sky and go to our job at 9 o'clock and go and have Starbucks coffee and then go and eat at TGI Fridays, and that there's another way to live. You might not want to live this way, but there's options. You know, maybe if there was more options for different ways to live, then you'd have less people going crazy and killing people, or less people killing themselves. You know, if you just felt like there was somewhere to go that was different. Monoculture in organisms, in human culture, in architecture, it's dangerous. It's inherently weak. It collapses easily. If one threat comes along, then everything can collapse quickly. But if you have, if you have a diverse ecology of ways of living, then you have many tools for how to deal with the problems that human beings have to confront. So I just and I know why they want to get rid of this place, because I travel as a musician. I have drinks with very, very wealthy people sometimes, and I have drinks with people who had to make their own drinks in the backyard. And musicians travel through the different classes, so I know what these people in the towers are saying in their private parties. They're saying, this is just garbage, and we have to get rid of the garbage so that our house will be worth more, so we can sell it for more money, so we could buy more stuff, or so that we can buy the house in Greece, or whatever it is that they're planning to do. Retire to Spain, This is what people say. They're not taking on these people as people. They're taking them on as garbage that has to be cleaned out. And when you think about it, that's the basis of genocide, is when you are able to think of human beings as just vermin or trash or cockroaches or garbage, then you're able to do terrible, terrible things to them, because you don't have the normal human empathy you have for other people. You just You just feel like you're doing a cleaning job when you're hurting people. So it's very difficult. Some people say that the best way to fight this thing is to show that the people here are human too, and that they have kids and that they have care about things. Well, I'm not sure that's true. I think the best way to fight it is to fight it, is to actually make it as hard as possible to get rid of you, and that means whatever you need to do to make it difficult. Because I don't think that the people in the glass towers really want to know anything about the people down here. They just think of them as stupid. Why don't they get a job? Why don't they get a car and get a nice haircut and stop being such an annoying person, you know? So, you know, I think the best way to fight them is to refuse to leave and not worry about engaging on a human level, saying we have power too, you know. And I'll tell that story that Rory McLeod told, the English folk singer I told earlier. You know, it's one of my favorite squatters stories. It's about there's a few people who are squatting on the edge of a big landowner's piece of land in England, and the rich man who owns the land all around comes down to the tents and he says, "You people have to get out of here. Get out of here right now. This is my land." And a pregnant lady comes out of the tent. She's like 8 months pregnant. She's kind of moving like this, and he says, "I need you to leave here." And she says, well, we're not leaving. And he says, "Well, this is my land. You have to get off." And she says, "How is it your land?" And he says, "Well, my father gave it to me." "And how did he get it?" "Well, his father gave it to him." "Well, how did he get it?" "Well, his father gave it to him." "Well, how did he get it?" "Well, he fought for it." So the pregnant lady rolls up her sleeves and says, "Okay, I'll fight you for it." And I like that story, partly because it illustrates this fact that squatters' rights are just as old as property rights. That in Europe, the right to occupy and live on a piece of land that's not being used by anybody else is just as old a right as the right to do whatever I want with my land, you know. So I think there'll always be squatters as long as there's people who need space to live, and I don't think that Europeans want to become like Canada and the United States, where you have thousands of homeless people in the cities with nowhere to live, and thousands of empty houses that were bought as investments where no one is living. They're just perfectly empty. It's like that's a crazy way to run your society. So I hope that I see Europe drifting towards an American and Canadian way of defining property rights, and I see Europe pushing their squatters out of places like the Esso house in Hamburg, and there was a big one in Denmark that was cleared out in Copenhagen, and I think it's a big mistake. That I don't really think you want to drift into living the way that we do in North America. That's what I wanted to say.
Da 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 da.